Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now. Move your mouse over. I'm sure there's a button to subscribe somewhere on the screen. Click that. Or perhaps you're listening on your smartphone or device. Move your finger around. I'm sure there's something that says subscribe. Click that. Get additional content throughout the week. Again, it's content only available for podcast subscribers. Get rants, ravings, opinions, the whole 9 yards. So I figured do a little post-mortem wrap-up on this Baltimore Orioles series. Great series for the Yankees, another sweep. This is coming off the sweep of the Cleveland Guardians this past weekend, so back-to-back and belly-to-belly sweeps by the New York Yankees. And this was really the series where the bats came alive, a lot of home runs. The only blemish you would say is the bullpen, again, which has been pretty fabulous for the Yankees, to this point of the season. Did get nicked up a little bit. Not a situation where they blew games or had any sort of gun-wrenching performances, but just sort of more of annoyances where a couple of games where the Yankees had everything well in hand. It's kind of the bullpen just couldn't close it out. Just took a little bit longer. Again, more of an annoyance than anything, sort of like a horsefly at the beach. So the first game was really the Anthony Rizzo show, hitting 3 home runs, including one of his infamous kind of pop-up foul ball / home run type of things that kind of just barely cleared the foul pole. So he had 3. Judge had one, a blast for his 30th birthday. Even our friend Joey Gallo got involved, hitting his first of the year, and the Yankees gave him the silent treatment when he finally got into the dugout. And boy, I mean, if anyone needed it, was him, because again, we all know he's not going to be an average type of hitter, but at least hit home runs, and he wasn't even doing that. So at least he gets his first off, gets the first on the board there. And for Severino on the mound, actually took a no-hitter into the 6th inning, but it eventually did tire out. Would give up a 3 home run himself. And the Yankee bullpen again, Loizaga wasn't effective. Lutke got smacked around a little bit as well. And it was a situation where even with a 12-8 lead in the 9th inning, Boone didn't want to play around, brought out Chapman, the closer, who, again, has been on a bit of a roll lately. And it was just one of those situations where it's like a save, non-save, and then technically wasn't a safe situation, but it's just sort of like, all right, Baltimore's starting to get a little hot here late with the bats. Let's not play around. Let's just put Chapman in, who, again, has been throwing the ball much more effectively lately, and he was able to close it out, and the Yankees take the first one down. Now, the second game, our good friend Jordan Montgomery was on the mound, and of course, we all know the Yankees don't score any runs for him, but did provide a Stantonian blast early on to give him a 2-0 lead, but he himself served up the 2-run home run to tie up the game and left with a 2-2 tie. And then from there, Michael King, who's really coming on strong this season. Again, he might be one of the big stories, again, if this team goes anywhere, providing some strong relief. And then with a 5-2 lead, again, contributed by another Joey Gallo home run. So he had two nights in a row. Boone decided to actually go with Clay Holmes to close out the game, just because Chapman had pitched a number of games in a row and probably just wanted to give him a night off. Again, a 3-run lead, and Clay Holmes pretty much has ice in his veins. He could handle it, and he was able to close that out. So the Yankees took down the first 2, which then brought us to the finale. And it was kind of a situation where you think, an afternoon game after a night game, maybe, it's a travel day. Maybe the Yankees kind of not give it away, but didn't exactly have the A lineup out there. I mean, you saw like Tim LaCastro in the lineup. You saw Marwin Gonzalez in the lineup. But nevertheless, the Yankees still came away victorious. Now they fell, Tyone fell behind early 2-0, but the Yankees were able to claw back with a 4-run fourth, highlighted really by LaCastro, who was on first base at the time and actually scored from first to home on a double by Gonzalez. I mean, when you ever see that from the New York Yankees, actually go first to home on a double or anything like that, I mean, the Yankees are kind of usually lumbering, knuckle dragging from base to base, just to show you just the value that LaCastro has provided the Yankees. And I kind of mentioned this in the YouTube episode. If you checked it out, on YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees kind of posted an episode yesterday and kind of mentioned this LaCastro, just some of the value he's provided. And again, I was wrong about him. This is why you bring this guy back with the knee issue, but he's been great with the Yankees. Just like going from first to home on a double. It's just something see from the Yankees. He's been stealing bases, been playing great defense, some diving catches. So he's been fabulous for the Yankees. Again, you look at his stats, doesn't jump off the page, but just providing a lot of value for the Yankees. And it's a great guy to have on the bench. And then Judge himself would add a 3-run home run later on and put the game pretty much well in hand. It's just sort of like same thing as game 1. The Yankee bullpen wasn't able to close it out cleanly, and Baltimore did put 3 on the board in the 8th and threatened as well in the 9th to make it very interesting. But eventually, Lucky was able to redeem himself from game 1 and finally finish it off, and the Yankees come away with the sweep. So good solid series from the Yankees, and this is what you're supposed to do with the Baltimore Orioles. Kind of, remember early on a couple of weeks ago, and Camden Yards had 2 ugly losses, lost 2 out of 3 there. So this was good to sort of just, let Judge serve some justice here. This is the way it should be when the Baltimore Orioles come to town or you visit them. You should sweep them. So hopefully, moving forward, the Yankees kind of righted the ship there and could get some easy wins against this team, which they should do. And they actually, and I mentioned before a couple of weeks ago that That best pitcher Means had some issues. Well, it turns out he's going to be down for the rest of the season with Tommy John surgery. So again, more of a reason you should get some easy wins against this club moving forward. And if you also check out the YouTube episode, kind of just ended it with a little comparison with Rizzo and Matt Olson, who remember during the offseason, the Yankees were sort of kicking the tires of the Oakland Athletics and perhaps make a trade for their first baseman, Matt Olson. And also the deal might include Chapman as well. Could have been a big deal. For whatever reason, it didn't fall through. But now I just look at both Anthony Rizzo and Matt Olson at this point in the season. Again, somewhat early, but it's very interesting. They have almost the same amount of at-bats. But right now, Rizzo with 8 home runs and 18 RBIs. Matt Olson, who has a much higher batting average, great, but only 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. So, Rizzo has 4 times as many home runs and more than twice as many, almost 3 times as many RBIs. So it just goes to show that people want to criticize Cashman all the time, but so far it looks like that might have been the right call. The Braves ultimately ended up with Olson, but not only did they trade for him, but also gave him an 8-year deal worth about $160 million. So possibly if the Yankees bought him in, probably would give him something similar. But instead, Rizzo deal was really a 2-year deal, but really it's just one because he's going to opt out after the first year, especially if he puts up numbers like he's putting up right now. He's going to have a really good solid stats on the back of the baseball card, and he's probably going to want to opt out of his deal and get a new deal. And why wouldn't he? But at least again, this point of the season, you get more production from Rizzo. It's much more manageable contract, and you didn't have to give up Volpe or any chips in order to get him. So again, I have to give kudos to Cashman on that deal so far this season. So the Yankees now moving away from some home cooking. Yeah, it was good to get 2 sweeps, but now they're on the way to Kansas City. And overall, it's a team they should be able to handle. Can't say going to sweep them as well, but no reason why they can't take at least 2 out of 3. But again, maybe they could sweep them as well. Because I don't think nothing really threatening from Kansas City, but it is on the road. So hopefully the Yankees keep the streak alive. So again, make sure you subscribe to the channel, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, this podcast. Also available on YouTube, so if you want to go to YouTube as well. But if you want to get exclusive content that's only available on this podcast, audio only, not on YouTube, and you don't have to wait a whole week to see my beautiful face, then make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Peace out.